Good morning, students. Welcome to the conclusion of the story Grief by Anton Chekhov. In this last part, we will summarize and wind up the story, covering the last two units left, that is Unit 5th and Unit 6th. Just for a recap, let me know that we are discussing the story Grief by Anton Chekhov with the protagonist Iona, who is perturbed, who is disturbed, who is bereaved of having lost his son. And as the title suggests, he is in lot of pain with lot of heaviness in his heart, but the problem with this is that he is not finding a single human being to share his grief with. When the story begins in Unit 1, we are acquainted with the fact that the atmosphere is very, it's very cold. It's snowing, and Iona and the horse are completely covered with snow, and they look like phantom. And both of them are immersed in deep thoughts, waiting for a fare, waiting for a passenger. And in Unit 2, they get a passenger, a police officer, who happens to be taken somewhere. And when the passenger sits in the cab behind, Iona is a little happy by the fact that probably now he will have somebody to tell his sorrow to or to share his sorrow with. But he's utterly disappointed when he tries to narrate the story, when he tries to narrate the whole scene of how his son died. When his conversation is cut short by the officer not showing any interest in the story. So finally, Iona realizes that it's no use speaking more because the officer is not interested. Again, he's back to the basics. He again waits for another cab. He again waits for more passengers to ferry them from one place to another. And in Unit 3, he encounters three young men. All of them are speaking or using bad language. They're criticizing Iona completely, throwing abusing him, hurling bad words at him. But Iona takes it all in a good stride because he feels that never mind, they're just youngsters. They have their own problems, they have their own life, and the only chance that he's looking for is that probably he can speak a little to these fellows so that he can tell what is there in his heart. So during the course of their journey, Iona patiently waits for all the three young men to stop talking to each other so that he gets a little bit of silence where he can speak his own words. And when he finally manages to get a little bit of time, he speaks the sentence, "My son died this week." And the answer that he receives to this statement is, "We must all die." And then all the three young gentlemen, they ask Iona to hurry up because they had to reach somewhere in time. And thus the matter finishes there. So by Unit 4, Anton Chekhov depicts that Iona finally reconciles to the fact, he finally realizes that he's not going to get anybody to share his sorrow with, and then he decides that he should return to the stables, and probably the horse also understands what his master wants, and then he trots off. So now in Unit 5th, about an hour and a half later, Iona is seated near a large dirty stove, and around that stove on the floor, there are people snoring. The air is thick and it is suffocatingly hot. And then he thinks that he has not even earned his fodder. And he's perturbed with the fact that he's not able to earn well, so that he is not able to feed himself, nor is able to feed his horse. And then suddenly he realizes that there's a young cab driver in one of the corner, gets up. He grunts sleepily and stretches towards a bucket of water. And Iona asks him that, "Do you want to drink?" He said, "Don't I want to drink?" Then he takes a drink, and probably Iona feels that if this man gets up, he will narrate the story to him. And he says, "Listen, mate, my son is dead. Did you hear? This week in hospital, it's a long story." After uttering these words, Iona realizes that these words fell on deaf ears, because when he looks to see what effect his words have, but sees none, the young man has hidden his face and is fast asleep again. The old man sighs and stretches his head. Just as much as the young man wanted to drink, the old man wanted to talk. So here the old man is Iona, who's wanting to talk, who's wanting to share his sorrow. But the young man he's wanting to convey has no desire of listening. He just wants to drink, and then he slept back. It will soon be a week since his son has died, and he has not been able to speak about it properly to anyone. One must tell it slowly and carefully, how his son fell ill, how he suffered, what he said before he died, and how he died. So that's a long story which Iona has been keeping to his heart, and he wanted that there should be no quickness to the episode. He wanted to tell anybody who was listening to it that how everything happened. One must describe every detail of the funeral and the journey to the hospital to fetch the defunct's clothes. His daughter Anicia remained in the village. One must talk about her too. Was it nothing he had to tell? Surely the listener would gasp and sigh and sympathize with him. It is better, too, to talk to women, although they are stupid. 2 words are enough to make them sob. So this paragraph very pathetically, it depicts the feelings of Iona. It is not only that he is perturbed with the grief that he has been holding in his heart for so long, but the more disturbing fact is that he is not getting anybody to share his grief with. And it is not just telling somebody that his son has died or probably the son is no more. It is, narrating the whole episode, giving the minutest detail of how he suffered, how he was in the hospital, how he was taken to the hospital, what happened to the daughter. Every little bit of detail had to be shared with somebody. Only then the entire grief, the entire sorrow that he had been carrying in his heart for long, he could be relieved of that. But he doesn't find so. So in the concluding unit, Iona says, I will go and look at my horse, thinks Iona. There's always time to sleep, no fear of that. He puts on his coat, goes to the stables to his horse. He thinks of the corn, the hay, the weather. When he is alone, he dare not think of his son. He could speak about him to anyone, but to think of him and picture him to himself is unbearably painful. So Iona, he reaches to his horse and he starts talking to him. Are you tucking him? Yes, I am too old to drive. My son could have, not I. He was a first-rate cab driver, if only he had lived. So Iona, he speaks these 3 sentences and he pauses for a minute. He remains silent for a minute. And then he starts again. That's how it is, my old horse. There's no more Kuzma Ionech. He has left us to live, and he went off pop. Now let us say you had a foal, you were that foal's mother, and suddenly let's say that foal went and left you live after him. It would be sad, wouldn't it? The little horse munches, listens, and breathes over his master's hand. Iona's feelings are too much for him, and he tells the little horse the whole story. So ultimately, Anton Chekhov, he leaves the story. The ending of the story is a bit hanging. It is in suspense. It is, or in other words, you can say that it's ultimate nail in the coffin, where Chekhov very, very, blatantly puts it that Iona couldn't find a single human being with whom he could share his sorrow. There was not a single person who had the time to listen to what Iona had to say. How unconcerned people are, how inhuman they are, how little do they care about others. These are some things, these are some feelings what Chekhov has very subtly, depicted in the story, that finally the old man, that is the protagonist, Iona, had to narrate his story to the horse. The horse is a mere animal who doesn't respond, but by telling him the entire episode, by telling him the entire story, Iona, we believe, according to the ending of the story, was relieved of the sorrow that he had been carrying for too long. So Chekhov's story, Grief, is a very poignant story, a very sad story of human affairs, of humanity, of the world around us, how insensitive we are, how lack of compassion do we have, or how inhuman we are, that we do not care, we do not talk about anybody's sorrow. So there are many more things in the story other than the subtlety by which Chekhov writes the story, the way he depicts the emotions, of which he has been a mastercraft. And there are uses of similes and metaphors, and the more detailed things would be taken up in the summary. That would be the description of the entire story. So this much for the story, students. And in tomorrow's class, I'm going to give you the summary of the story, or you can say the critical summary from the examination point of view. Thank you.